Hey everybody, JC here with another TNI toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends 6-inch Spider-Man Sinister Villains Classic Beetle figure. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style packaging we see with all the Marvel Legends. You've got the Legends series logo up at the top. The figure is clearly displayed in the window box. Down below you have the Spider-Man logo. And then this figure is listed as Sinister Villains because it shares the same package as the Tombstone figure that also ships in this wave. So on one side of the packaging you have an image of Tombstone, and then the other side you have an image of Beetle. Then on the back of the packaging you have a look at both figures, a brief bio in multiple languages, and then down below it shows us the Vulture Build-A-Wing that you get in this wave and all the figures that you need to get in order to complete that. Alright, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the Beetle outside of the packaging along with the other contents. So first of all, Beetle comes with the propeller piece. This is part of the Vulture Build-A-Wing feature of this wave. This actually attaches to the wing, so they really kind of break down the wings and spread out all the pieces among all the figures in the wave. But I'll be looking at the Vulture's wings in its entirety in its own review once I've looked at all the figures in this wave, so be sure to check back for that. And then besides the Vulture Build-A-Wing piece, we also get the wings for Beetle, and this is broken up into a set of actual wings, and these are actually the same wings that we got with the female Beetle figure, same color and everything, that semi-translucent plastic with the little line work for the veins and the wings. So these look pretty good, but again, these are the exact same ones that we got with the female version of Beetle. And then we get this outer shell for his wings. Now, the thing to note with this is you've got these holes, these two sets of holes on the back of the figure. So this bottom set of holes is where the actual wings plug in, and then this upper set of holes is where the outer shell plugs in. Now, I had to actually take a hairdryer and loosen the plastic up with these upper holes for the outer shell. I couldn't get them to go in otherwise, so you may need to do that. And then the other thing you want to note is when you plug in the wings, and you can see you gotta have to kind of turn it because it doesn't just slide easily in there. But then when you pull, if you want to pull the wings out, this actual piece comes out very easily. It's not glued or anything. It'll fit in there, you know, easily. You can put it back in with no problem, but just be wary when you pull the wings out, that little piece is actually going to come out. But what you want to do is to do the outer shell, you just slide these pegs in here. And again, you want to possibly heat this up so it'll go in easier, because you can stress the plastic on these. If you're not careful, you can see on this one, I've kind of stressed the plastic where I was trying to push it in. So just be careful with that so you don't break it. And then, like I said, the best way is to just kind of turn it until it slides in, and then it'll pop in like that. And then you put in the second one. So with this outer shell, basically the way this works is you can have it two ways. You can basically, how this works is in the comic, basically this piece actually, you know, when his wings aren't deployed, this actually covers the wings up. The wings kind of are supposed to fit inside this. Now that's not, you can't actually fit these larger wings inside this. So basically when you want to have it, the figure displayed with like the wings not deployed, you just want to remove these wing pieces and then fold the outer shell closed. And you know, it looks pretty comic book accurate like this. But then like when you want to have the wings deployed, then you slide these open and then you plug your larger wings in the figure. Now, it really doesn't matter. You can have the smaller wing on the outer part, or you can have it on the inner part. It really doesn't matter. I think the way Hasbro shows it is with the larger wing on the outer part. So, again, want to slide these kind of in because they don't just slide easily in there. But once you do get it, the good thing is they're kind of hard to get in there, but once you do get them in, they do fit nice and tight. Get this one in. Except I did it backwards. You definitely want the larger wing to be on the top, not the bottom. So there we go. So then you just kind of fold the wings down, and so that's how he looks when you have the wings fully deployed. And again, this looks pretty comic book accurate to me, so I think they've done a good job with this. I like the fact that they gave you this outer shell piece and that you can like remove these larger wings so that you can have it so it looks like the wings are folded inside there. So I do like that feature. And the wings, you know, you can slide back and forth. You have the articulation, so you can do them up and down, and you can slide them tight, you know, wider or thinner like this. You know, it's really up to you how you want to do it. Same with the outer shell. You can do it up and down, and you can slide it down a little bit more if you'd rather do it that way. You know, it's really up to you how you want to actually display it. And technically, if you don't want to remove the larger wings, you can still fold these outer shells closed like that. You just got the wings that stick out from the bottom. Actually, I think Hasbro intended this little circle piece on the back of the figure to be removed. It makes it easier to take off the wings, the larger wings, so you don't have to individually pull them out. So I think they did that intentionally, and then you can just put the outer shell, close the outer shell, so you don't even see that little hole on the back of the figure. But I think that circle piece is actually meant to be removed. So for the figure itself, this seems to be mostly a new sculpt. There are some parts from the Bucky Cap mold used on this figure, but for the most part it is new. And I've got to say that I'm very glad that Hasbro's finally given us a classic Beetle. We've gotten a lot of different versions of Beetle over the years from both Toy Biz and Hasbro, but never this more traditional looking outfit for the villain. Now, this isn't actually the first costume Beetle wore. It's the one that most people think of, but he actually had a funkier looking costume when he first appeared in the comics. It had really long fingers and such. And honestly, I can't say I'm really looking for a figure of that one, but I am glad that we got this version of Beetle, because again, this is really the version I think of when you think of the Beetle character. So I like the head sculpt on this one. He's got this basically outer piece, which is purple, and it, you know, with the points up at the top, and this is done with a kind of a rubbery type material. And then he's got the gold metallic eyes. And then I like the green metallic paint that they've used throughout the figure to give you that kind of armored look. Now the arms from the shoulders down look to be reuse of the Bucky Cap mold. The shoulders themselves are new. These are kind of sculpted to look like armor pieces, so they're not the same shoulders that we see on the Bucky Cap mold. Same with the torso section. It's different. It's sculpted differently to look bulkier and more armor-like. And then he's got this belt, which is purple, and you've got the little circles on it. Now the legs, again, seem to be a reuse of the Bucky Cap mold, so that's another part that's reused from that mold. And you do have some marbleization effect going on down here on the legs. Doesn't stand out too bad, but when you look at it closely, especially on the right leg here, it kind of stands out a little bit. But again, with it being supposed to be like an armor, I do like that metallic green and the metallic purples that you use on the figure. So this figure stands, if you count to the tips of his mask, just a little over 6 1/4 inches tall. And just in case if you were wondering, the width of this figure with the wings fully deployed is, the wingspan is about a little over 8.5 inches. And here's a comparison with the female Beetle that Hasbro recently released, and then the armored Beetle that Toy Biz did back in the day. Sorry, I don't have the ultimate Beetle that Hasbro did to give you a comparison of that one. Here's a comparison of the Hasbro Spider-Man figure from the Raft box set. And then finally, here's a comparison with some other villains that Beetle's been known to hang out with from time to time. So we've got Jack-o'-lantern, Shocker, Eel, Boomerang, and then my makeshift Silvermane. It's an Ultron figure with the Silvermane head sculpt that came with the Speed Demon figure. Okay, so for articulation, you can turn the head to the left and to the right, and the head is attached with the ball hinge joint. He can look down a little bit. This outer purple part of the mask kind of limits the down movement of the head, but he can look back pretty good, so that's nice for flight poses. And then you can get the arm out. It's attached with your standard ball hinge joint. Now, because the shoulder is a little bit bulkier for that armored look, that's about as far out as you can get it, but that's still pretty good. And then you've got good rotation. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got a double hinged elbow, so good bending there at the elbow. He's got swivels at the wrist, hinges on the hands, so good up and down movement with the hands. He's got an ab crunch type joint, so he can crunch down good. Really can't look back with the wings attached on the back there, so that limits some of that movement. He does have a waist swivel. Legs are attached with ball joints, but can only do the splits about that much. Then you can get the leg forward good. You can get it up pretty high, and you can do the leg kind of out and back. He's got a thigh swivel double hinge knee, so good bending at the knee. He has a boot cuff swivel, hinges on the feet, so good up and down movement, and he does have ankle pivot and 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so that's my review. So I like this figure a lot. I'm really glad that we're getting this classic version of the Beetle. I've been waiting for this version for a long time. My only minor complaint with this figure is they did overdo the marbleization a little bit on the legs of the figure. But otherwise, I think it looks really good. I like the metallic paint. It looks like it's an actual armor. I like the head sculpt, and I like the way the wings work on the figure. Now, this figure, along with the rest of the wave, has started to hit retail. I picked mine up off of Amazon this weekend, and you should start seeing it in greater numbers at retail starting on May 1st, which is at the end of the week. And then places like Big Bad Toy Stores should have it up for pre-order and possibly in stock by June 1st. We'll have a full image gallery up at marvelousnews.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. And you can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I'll have links to those in the video description below as well. And until next time, I'll catch you later.